Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you here today. Last night, after WWE Survivor Series 2018, they ran a special on the WWE Network. It was a very good show. This is the second episode of WWE 365, showing the 1 year in the life of a current wrestler, and the last one was on Kevin Owens, and I thought that it was honestly very good. They were able to strip down Kevin Owens and show the personal side of him, showing his reactions to what he thought was going on in his matches and what his feeling was after winning the championship. He didn't have to play the character of Kevin Owens. He just got to be, himself and talk about what was going on in his life. And they did the same thing with AJ Styles. They basically opened up the AJ Styles 365. They were able to show him as a dad who does go, work on the road, where he basically travels, where he's gone for almost an entire month. This first month that they showed of AJ Styles, he had been on the road for 29 days. He went home. They showed him throwing footballs with his kids. They had shown them jump on the trampoline, and just basically just spend time with these kids, because it's he lives the life as a professional wrestler, but when he comes home, he turns that off. And he just is a guy that lives in Gainesville, Georgia, who loves to hang out with his family and do stuff around the house, I guess is the best way to say it. I thought the AJ 365 talked about some of the biggest matches that AJ Styles has had. This was, of course, would be AJ Styles wrestling on the SmackDown Live tour in Chile, getting the news that Bray Wyatt was not going to be able to wrestle at the pay-per-view for Monday Night Raw, and was picked that basically he was the guy that they thought was able to run with the ball and, fix just about any hole that would have popped up in WWE. This current time was him flying all the way home from Chile, where he had to take 2 different flights in the matter of basically, I want to say 15 hours. Basically flew just to show up and wrestle a match against Finn Balor, which was pretty big because WWE had already tipped their hat that Finn Balor's Demon was going to be wrestling that night, and drawn up all the illustrations and stuff, and it wouldn't have made sense to market the Demon wrestling at TLC and just not come through with it. So we had Finn Balor facing off against AJ Styles for the first time. This was looked at as a dream match, and I think it would have been really cool if this match actually would have had some build, but, AJ's from Raw and Balor's from SmackDown. If they ever did, singles matches at Survivor Series, this is something they could have built up, because both of these guys are former leaders of the Bullet Club, wrestling over New Japan Wrestling, and, of course, they went out and had one hell of a match, and then, of course, come Tuesday, we have a match where AJ wrestles against Jinder Mahal, which I think was over in the UK, and we had AJ Styles beat Jinder Mahal for the WWE Championship, which then changed the setting of Survivor Series, where the Raw champion takes on the SmackDown champion, making AJ Styles have a match against Brock Lesnar. And of course, that was a really big match from Survivor Series last year, even though the hype was only from Tuesday until Sunday, and there was no real television to boost it. The hype between wrestling fans talking on Twitter and other social medias, people thought that, if anybody was going to take Brock Lesnar to the limit, even if it was a non-title match, was going to be AJ Styles. And AJ was talked about how his wife had sort of made rules for him wrestling, and one of those was that she never wanted him to wrestle against Brock Lesnar, because Brock is a guy that's going to go out there and just basically throw him from pillar to post and destroy him inside of the ring. He doesn't understand what the difference is between professional wrestling and UFC and street fighting and all of that, and his wife was scared for him, but he went out there, and it's a lot like when AJ Styles wrestled at Chris Jericho at WrestleMania. Even though AJ Styles didn't get the win, he sort of took that as a win in his personal book, and they showed a backstage promo from Paul Heyman that I'm sure was only on WWE.com or maybe posted up on Twitter and Facebook. I can honestly say that I never got a chance to see it. We talked about Paul Heyman saying that Finn Balor was the present-day Shawn Michaels. Oh, I'm sorry, I fucked that up. Paul Heyman said that AJ Styles was the current-day Shawn Michaels, the current-day Bret Hart. All of these, I think he even said Ric Flair, all of these past champions that went out there and wrestled these real matches. And, he'd sort of taken all of that, revolved it around, and put that together in what is today's best wrestler in the world. This, of course, was very touching to AJ Styles because of the fact that somebody was, giving him a pat on the back and putting him in that echelon of being one of the best champions to ever wrestle in WWE. I think that the WWE episode of 365 was very, very good. I highly recommend it to you. It definitely made me want to go back and rewatch some AJ Styles matches. I know that AJ just had a DVD. I believe it's called the Phenomenal Collection that just came out. You can go over to Wrestling DVD Network and see if you can find a match listing over there. I can honestly tell you that I think just about everything that AJ Styles has done in WWE has been gold, and I would be really surprised if you can pick anything apart that he's done. These are some of the best matches that he's had. I'm sure that it would be a really cool collection to be on the WWE Network, but as of right now, I highly recommend WWE 365, episode number 2, AJ Styles.